Have you ever bathed thoroughly, only to catch a strange smell later and wonder, where is that coming from? What if I told you that nearly everyone, especially seniors, misses the same overlooked areas every single day? And by simply paying attention to these hidden spots, you could feel fresher, cleaner, and more confident without changing your entire routine. The truth is, no matter how often you shower or how carefully you try to stay clean, there's a reason some odors still linger. In fact, about 99% of people unknowingly skip certain hidden parts of their body, and those areas are often the root cause of persistent body odor. This is especially common among seniors, who may find themselves quietly dealing with this issue despite their best hygiene habits. In this video, we're going to reveal 6 commonly ignored spots that play a major role in how fresh, or not, you feel each day. What's amazing is that just a little extra care in these small zones can make a world of difference. You'll be surprised by how much better you can feel, both physically and emotionally, just by understanding what your body truly needs. So stick with us until the end. By the time we're done, you'll not only learn how to care for these areas, but you may also discover a whole new sense of peace and self-confidence in your daily self-care. Let's begin. Spot number 1, the nape of the neck. The nape of the neck is one of those areas that silently contributes to body odor, yet rarely gets the attention it deserves. For seniors in particular, it's a spot that often goes completely unnoticed until someone else points it out. This area lies right where the back of your head meets your upper back. It's usually tucked beneath hair, collars, scarves, or hats, which trap heat and moisture. That makes it a perfect environment for sweat, oils, dead skin, and leftover hair products to build up without proper ventilation. Over time, all that buildup creates the ideal conditions for bacteria, and even yeast, to flourish. That's what causes the musty, sour smell that sticks around, no matter how clean the rest of your body feels. And here's the tricky part. Just like the area behind your ears, the nape doesn't always feel dirty. So it's easy to forget it altogether. There's often no itchiness or visible grime behind the neck to signal that it needs attention. It feels fine to the touch, so it quietly goes neglected. But even without discomfort, the buildup gradually takes its toll. And here's the catch. You might not notice the odor yourself, but those around you can. Walter, who is 84, knows this all too well. He's a man who has always taken great pride in staying active and well-kept. He loves his morning walks, tending to his garden, and sitting on the front porch chatting with neighbors. After every activity, he made sure to shower, put on clean clothes, and keep himself neatly groomed. Still, he began to notice something subtle. During conversations, people seemed a bit quicker to step back or maintain a certain distance. At first, he was puzzled. What had changed? It wasn't until his young granddaughter gave him a gentle comment after a warm hug that the truth came to light. Walter had simply overlooked the nape of his neck during his routine. It had become a hidden source of odor, one he never even realized was there. Determined to fix the problem, Walter made one small change. He began using a soft washcloth with warm, soapy water to gently clean the back of his neck each morning. Then, just as carefully, he patted the area dry with a towel, making sure no moisture remained. Because as we've learned, dampness creates the perfect home for bacteria. The difference? It was immediate. That lingering odor that had left him feeling uncertain vanished, and in its place came a renewed sense of comfort and confidence whenever he chatted with friends or welcomed visitors. Caring for the nape of your neck doesn't require fancy products or complex steps. All it takes is a moment of attention, a soft cloth, warm water, and mild soap. And don't forget, thoroughly drying the area is just as important. Leaving it damp only invites back the same bacteria you're trying to eliminate. Adding this one simple habit to your daily routine can help you avoid a hidden cause of odor that quietly affects your comfort and confidence. And when you know that every part of you feels truly clean, it shows. It shows in the way you walk, the way you speak, and the quiet joy that comes from knowing you've truly cared for yourself. Number 2, Behind the ears. Behind the ears is another area that almost everyone forgets during their daily hygiene routine. Yet surprisingly, this small and often ignored spot plays a much bigger role in contributing to body odor than most people would ever expect. This hidden spot quietly sits just out of view, and because it's not something you see in the mirror or feel discomfort from, it's incredibly easy to overlook. But the truth is, the area behind your ears collects far more than you might think throughout the day. Sweat gradually accumulates there, blending with the natural oils our skin produces. And if you use hair products like sprays, gels, or even medicated shampoos, those substances often drift downward and settle behind the ears. Bit by bit, they form a thin, invisible film, a mixture of sweat, oil, and product residue that clings to the skin. Left untouched, this film becomes the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. These bacteria feed on the oils and sweat, and as they break them down, they produce that all too familiar, sour, musty smell that many older adults sense, but often can't quite place. What makes this area especially tricky is that it doesn't usually feel dirty. You might touch behind your ears and feel nothing unusual, no stickiness, no residue, no discomfort at all. But that's exactly the problem. The buildup is often invisible and causes no physical irritation, so it remains hidden in plain sight. To make matters more complex, our sense of smell naturally dulls with age. That means we may not detect the odor ourselves, even as others around us do. You might notice people shifting slightly away during conversations, or subtly keeping a bit more distance, and be left wondering what changed. More often than you'd guess, the answer lies right behind the ears. Take Harold, for example. At 83, he was a man who valued neatness and personal care. He dressed well every day, kept his hair tidy, and never skipped his daily bath. Yet, he began to feel something had shifted. People didn't seem as at ease when they spoke with him as they once were. During one visit, his granddaughter gently mentioned that she noticed a faint odor and kindly suggested he pay a little extra attention to the area behind his ears. Harold didn't hesitate. The very next morning, he took a soft washcloth, soaked it in warm, soapy water, and gently cleaned behind each ear. He then rinsed thoroughly and carefully dried the skin to avoid any lingering moisture. The result? Instant. The subtle odor that had lingered disappeared completely. Harold felt more comfortable and confident during his interactions with others, and he realized just how much of a difference one small change could make. That small change brought Harold more comfort and confidence than he had felt in years. What's surprising is how little time it actually takes. Just a gentle swipe behind each ear using a warm, soapy cloth, followed by drying with a soft towel, is all it really requires. And when this becomes part of your daily routine, it gives you something powerful, the daily reassurance of feeling clean, fresh, and presentable. It's one of those small details that can make a big difference. Once you begin paying attention to it, you might find yourself wondering how you ever overlooked it in the first place. And beyond cleanliness, it's a quiet act of self-respect. Caring for yourself in this way also shows consideration for the people around you. Whether you're heading out to meet friends, running errands, or simply spending a quiet day at home, knowing you've addressed even the most hidden parts of your body helps you move through the day with more ease. The area behind the ears may not draw attention on its own, but that's exactly why it deserves a moment of care. It's easy to forget, yet so impactful. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you've left no hidden source of odor behind is truly worth the few extra seconds it takes. For seniors especially, as we aim to feel our best in every interaction, giving attention to this tiny spot can have a surprisingly big effect. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to click that button and turn on notifications so you never miss a helpful video. Your support means a lot. It helps us keep creating valuable content that informs, empowers, and inspires. Number 3, the folds under the breasts or chest. The skin folds beneath the breasts or chest area are another commonly overlooked part of the body, especially during daily hygiene routines. And yet, this quiet, hidden space can gradually become a major source of odor over time. Many seniors work hard to maintain their cleanliness. They bathe regularly, wear clean clothes, and keep a tidy appearance. But despite all that care, some still notice a faint but lingering smell that causes discomfort, whether during social visits, time with family, or even while relaxing alone. And surprisingly, the culprit is often the warm, moist space underneath the breasts or chest. It's a place that's easy to miss, but important not to. This is one of those areas that many people simply don't think about when bathing. It's easy to miss because it doesn't always feel dirty or damp when you touch it. But underneath the surface, sweat slowly builds up throughout the day. It mixes with natural oils from the skin, dead skin cells, and even small fibers or lint that come from clothing and undergarments. The folds under the breasts or chest are naturally warm and often shielded from airflow. For those who wear layers or snug-fitting garments for support, this warmth increases, while ventilation decreases. As a result, any moisture that accumulates there rarely has a chance to dry out on its own. That trapped moisture, in combination with skin oils and warmth, creates the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and yeast. These organisms feed on the sweat and oils, and in the process, they release byproducts that give off a musty or sour odor, a smell that many seniors find discouraging and difficult to pinpoint. What makes this issue more complicated is how deceptive it can be. From the outside, the skin might feel perfectly normal, dry and clean. But just beneath the surface, in the deeper folds, the situation can be quite different. Often, it's only when someone else picks up on the odor, or when irritation or rash develops, that the hidden problem finally comes to light. Ellen, who is 81, knows this experience well. She's someone who has always taken pride in her appearance. Each morning, she bathed, dressed in clean clothes, kept her hair tidy, and even made sure her shoes were polished before stepping out for errands or meeting friends. Still, she sometimes noticed something unsettling. During indoor visits, guests would crack open a window. During conversations, friends would shift slightly or step back. Ellen was puzzled. She knew she took care of herself, so why did people seem uneasy? The answer came during a regular visit to her doctor. With warmth and kindness, the doctor explained that many older adults overlook cleaning and drying the area under the breasts or chest. It's a common issue that can lead to odor, even in people with otherwise excellent hygiene. Ellen appreciated the insight and decided to make a change. The very next morning, she gently cleaned the area with a soft washcloth and warm, soapy water. She then took extra care to dry it thoroughly with a soft towel. On warmer days, she added a light dusting of non-medicated body powder to help keep the area dry throughout the day. The difference was immediate and profound. That frustrating odor disappeared, and Ellen felt refreshed, more comfortable, and at ease during her daily interactions. That subtle odor disappeared, and with it, Ellen felt a renewed sense of relief and confidence, something she hadn't experienced in years. It was as if a quiet burden had been lifted, all from paying attention to a spot she'd never realized needed care. The folds beneath the breasts or chest don't take long to clean, but the impact is significant. A gentle wash using warm water and mild soap, followed by a careful, thorough drying, helps eliminate sweat, oils, and residue, the very things that bacteria and yeast feed on. By removing what fuels them, you're stopping the odor at its source before it even has a chance to form. Just as important as washing is the drying process. Leaving behind even a trace of moisture gives bacteria the opportunity to return. That's why some people find it helpful to place a soft, breathable cotton cloth in the fold for a short time after drying. It absorbs any lingering dampness and helps keep the area feeling fresh. Others prefer using a light layer of non-medicated powder to maintain dryness throughout the day. Whichever method you choose, the key is consistency. Making sure that before you get dressed and start your day, the area is clean, dry, and cared for. It might seem like a small gesture, But it's more than just hygiene. It's about how you feel in your own skin. It's about comfort, confidence, and the calm assurance that you've done something good for yourself. Whether you're relaxing at home with loved ones or out enjoying the company of friends, this extra moment of care goes a long way. Giving attention to this hidden area is a quiet act of self-respect, and that respect radiates outward. You carry it in the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you connect with others. Many seniors who add this step to their routine say they feel a new sense of control over their personal care. And that kind of confidence? It's priceless. Number 4. The belly button. The belly button is one of those tiny, tucked-away places that most people rarely think about when bathing. It seems so small, so insignificant, that it's easy to assume it takes care of itself. But in reality, it quietly plays a much bigger role in body odor than most people realize. For seniors, this spot often gets overlooked because it doesn't usually cause any discomfort. It's just a little hollow in the center of the abdomen, and unless it feels irritated or sore, most assume that it gets rinsed clean during a shower. But the truth is, the belly button collects more than you might expect, every single day. Sweat naturally trickles down into that small, tucked-away space. Along with it, skin oils find their way there too. Throughout the day, dead skin cells shed off unnoticed. Lint from clothing, tiny particles of dust, and residue from lotions or powders can all begin to settle inside. Because the belly button is recessed, it doesn't receive much airflow, so any moisture that gathers inside tends to stay trapped. Without proper cleaning, this hidden mix becomes a perfect environment for bacteria and yeast. As these organisms multiply, they feed on the buildup and release byproducts that create an unmistakable sour or musty odor. And here's the frustrating part. Even if you're diligent about washing the rest of your body, that lingering smell can still follow you if this one spot is left unchecked. The belly button is particularly tricky because the buildup is often completely invisible. At a glance, everything may look fine. You might run a finger around the rim and feel nothing unusual, no stickiness, no irritation, no grime. But deep within that small hollow, sweat, oils, and debris quietly accumulate day after day. And since our sense of smell tends to fade slightly with age, we may not detect the odor ourselves, even though those around us might. Have you ever noticed someone lean back just a little during a hug or subtly turn their face away during a close conversation? It might seem confusing or even hurtful, but sometimes the answer lies in this small, easily forgotten area. That was the case for George, who was 79. He took great pride in his appearance, bathed every morning, wore clean and well-pressed clothes, kept his hair neat, and made sure his shoes were polished to perfection. Yet, despite his efforts, he noticed something was off. His granddaughter would wrinkle her nose slightly during hugs, and friends seemed to prefer chatting outside, where the breeze offered a bit of fresh air. George was puzzled. He was certain he was doing everything right. It wasn't until his daughter, in a kind and respectful conversation, gently suggested he check his belly button during his daily wash that the mystery began to unravel. Taking the advice to heart, George added one simple step to his routine. Using a soft cloth and warm, soapy water, he carefully cleaned the inside of his belly button each day. He rinsed it well, then dried it thoroughly with a soft towel to ensure no moisture remained. The results were immediate. That subtle odor that had lingered disappeared. More than that, George felt a sense of renewed ease, more comfortable in his interactions, and more confident just being himself. It was a small change, but one that had a lasting impact. Taking care of the belly button requires only a few extra seconds a day, but those seconds can make a world of difference. It may seem like such a small task, but caring for your belly button truly makes a world of difference. A gentle cleaning with warm water and mild soap clears away the sweat, oils, and debris that bacteria feed on, stopping odor before it even starts. But remember, cleaning is only half the job. Drying the area thoroughly afterward is just as important, because any lingering moisture creates the perfect environment for bacteria to return. Some people find that after washing and drying, using a soft cotton swab can help remove any last bit of dampness from deep within the navel. Others prefer to simply let the area air out for a few extra minutes before getting dressed, allowing any remaining moisture to evaporate naturally. Whatever method works best for you, the goal is the same. Give this small hollow the attention it needs to stay clean and dry. Adding this simple step to your daily hygiene routine isn't just about being thorough, it's about feeling at ease. It's about that inner sense of peace you carry, knowing you've done all you can to take care of yourself. When you feel clean and confident, that feeling shows in your posture, your voice, your smile. For seniors especially, who want to continue enjoying life fully, whether it's visiting with loved ones, attending community events, or simply having a conversation, small acts like this matter. They help us move through life with pride, knowing we're presenting our best selves, free from hidden sources of odor that can quietly undermine our confidence. And that quiet sense of self-assurance? People notice it. It's visible in the way you engage with others and felt in the warmth of every interaction. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't already subscribed, now's a great time to do it. Don't forget to turn on the bell so you won't miss out on more valuable tips. Your support means a lot and helps us keep bringing you helpful, inspiring content. Number 5. Between the toes. Most people assume this area is taken care of during their daily shower or bath. After all, if you're washing your feet, surely that includes the spaces between your toes, right? But in reality, this hidden zone quietly collects more than you might expect. And since our sense of smell tends to fade slightly with age, we may not detect the odor ourselves, even though those around us might. Have you ever noticed someone lean back just a little during a hug, or subtly turn their face away during a close conversation? It might seem confusing or even hurtful, but sometimes the answer lies in this small, easily forgotten area. That was the case for George, who was 79. He took great pride in his appearance, bathed every morning, wore clean and well-pressed clothes, kept his hair neat, and made sure his shoes were polished to perfection. Yet, despite his efforts, he noticed something was off. His granddaughter would wrinkle her nose slightly during hugs, and friends seemed to prefer chatting outside, where the breeze offered a bit of fresh air. George was puzzled. He was certain he was doing everything right. It wasn't until his daughter, in a kind and respectful conversation, gently suggested he check his belly button during his daily wash, that the mystery began to unravel. Taking the advice to heart, George added one simple step to his routine. Using a soft cloth and warm, soapy water, he carefully cleaned the inside of his belly button each day. He rinsed it well, then dried it thoroughly with a soft towel to ensure no moisture remained. The results were immediate. That subtle odor that had lingered disappeared. More than that, George felt a sense of renewed ease, more comfortable in his interactions, and more confident just being himself. It was a small change, but one that had a lasting impact. Taking care of the belly button requires only a few extra seconds a day, but those seconds can make a world of difference. It may seem like such a small task, but caring for your belly button truly makes a world of difference. A gentle cleaning with warm water and mild soap clears away the sweat, oils, and debris that bacteria feed on, stopping odor before it even starts. But remember, cleaning is only half the job. Drying the area thoroughly afterward is just as important, because any lingering moisture creates the perfect environment for bacteria to return. Some people find that after washing and drying, using a soft cotton swab can help remove any last bit of dampness from deep within the navel. Others prefer to simply let the area air out for a few extra minutes before getting dressed, allowing any remaining moisture to evaporate naturally. Whatever method works best for you, the goal is the same. Give this small hollow the attention it needs to stay clean and dry. Adding this simple step to your daily hygiene routine isn't just about being thorough. It's about feeling at ease. It's about that inner sense of peace you carry, knowing you've done all you can to take care of yourself. When you feel clean and confident, that feeling shows in your posture, your voice, your smile. For seniors especially, who want to continue enjoying life fully, whether it's visiting with loved ones, attending community events, or simply having a conversation, small acts like this matter. They help us move through life with pride, knowing we're presenting our best selves, free from hidden sources of odor that can quietly undermine our confidence. And that quiet sense of self-assurance, people notice it. It's visible in the way you engage with others and felt in the warmth of every interaction. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't already subscribed, now's a great time to do it. Don't forget to turn on the bell so you won't miss out on more valuable tips. Your support means a lot and helps us keep bringing you helpful, inspiring content. Number 5. Between the toes. Most people assume this area is taken care of during their daily shower or bath. After all, if you're washing your feet, surely that includes the spaces between your toes, right? But in reality, this hidden zone quietly collects more than you might expect. The skin between the toes is warm, and it tends to stay damp, especially for seniors who wear socks, slippers, or enclosed shoes for most of the day. With every step you take, your feet naturally sweat, and that moisture it often gathers between the toes, creating a little pocket of warmth and dampness. Add to that the tiny fibers that come off your socks, dead skin that's naturally shed, and small particles of dust or dirt that find their way into your shoes. All of this builds up silently in the spaces between your toes, creating the ideal conditions for odor-producing bacteria and fungi to thrive. This warm, enclosed space becomes the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungus. Left unchecked, it can develop a sharp, sour, or even cheesy smell that clings to your feet, regardless of how clean and fresh the rest of your body might feel. And because this area doesn't always feel wet or dirty to the touch, it's easy to overlook. You might assume that rinsing your feet or scrubbing the soles is enough, never realizing that the narrow spaces between the toes need attention all their own. Let me share the story of Henry, who is 80. He's a man who always prided himself on being neat and well-groomed. Each morning, he bathed, put on clean socks, and made sure his shoes were in good condition. His appearance reflected his values: clean, orderly, and put together. Still, something kept bothering him. Whenever he visited his daughter's house and took off his shoes, a faint smell would linger. He started to notice the subtle discomfort on his family's faces. Quick glances, open windows, polite distance. He couldn't understand it. After all, he was so careful with his hygiene. It wasn't until his granddaughter gently suggested that the smell might be coming from between his toes that things started to make sense. Henry realized he had never specifically cleaned that area. He had always assumed a quick rinse would do the trick. Determined to improve, Henry began setting aside a few extra moments each day to give his feet the care they deserved. He gently separated each toe and cleaned between them using warm, soapy water, making sure to rinse well and dry thoroughly afterward. On days when he was more active, he even changed into a fresh pair of socks to keep his feet dry and comfortable. The results were almost immediate. That stubborn odor vanished, and Henry regained his sense of ease and confidence. He could visit family, sit comfortably in their home, and enjoy time together without a second thought. Caring for the area between your toes doesn't require special tools or a long routine. Just a soft cloth, or even your fingers, and warm, soapy water will do. After cleaning, use a towel to gently but thoroughly dry between each toe. Moisture is the enemy here. Even a small amount left behind creates the ideal environment for bacteria and fungus to grow again. Some people find that letting their feet air out for a few minutes before putting on socks or shoes helps even more. Others prefer moisture-wicking socks made from breathable materials, which help keep the area dry throughout the day. These small steps can go a long way in preventing this hidden space from becoming a quiet, persistent source of odor or discomfort. Taking a little time each day to care for the space between your toes is a simple act, but one that brings lasting comfort and confidence. It's yet another simple, meaningful way to show care and respect for yourself and to move through each day with greater comfort, ease, and quiet confidence. The inner thighs are one of those areas that often go unnoticed during daily hygiene routines, yet they can quietly become a significant source of body odor, especially for seniors. This part of the body experiences frequent friction as you move throughout your day. Whether you're walking in the garden, shopping for groceries, or simply going about your tasks at home, the skin in this area is constantly rubbing together. That friction leads to sweat, which mixes with natural body oils and dead skin cells, shedding from the surface as part of your body's everyday process. On top of that, tiny bits of lint from clothing and undergarments can also collect there. Because this area is usually covered and doesn't get much airflow, moisture tends to stay trapped. That trapped heat and dampness create a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and yeast to grow. As these microorganisms multiply, they release byproducts that cause a sour or musty odor, an odor that can linger even after you've bathed, leaving you feeling uncertain or self-conscious. What makes this spot particularly easy to miss is that it rarely feels uncomfortable at first. There's usually no immediate stickiness, itchiness, or irritation to signal that something's wrong. But the odor builds quietly in the background, unnoticed by you, but sometimes picked up by others. That's exactly what happened with Charles, who is 78. A man who prided himself on staying clean and presentable, Charles bathed every morning, dressed in fresh clothes, and kept a polished appearance. Yet, he began to notice something odd. During car rides or social gatherings, people subtly leaned away or cracked a window open, even when the weather didn't call for it. Confused and slightly embarrassed, Charles couldn't figure out what was wrong until a thoughtful friend gently suggested that he might be overlooking the area between his thighs. It was a moment of clarity. From that day forward, Charles added one small step to his routine. He began to gently wash between his thighs each day, using warm, soapy water, taking time to rinse thoroughly and pat the skin dry with a clean towel. On warmer days, or when he expected to be active, he used a light dusting of non-medicated powder to keep the area dry and comfortable. The difference was incredible. The odor vanished, and in its place came a new sense of comfort. Charles felt more relaxed during outings and more confident when sitting close to others, knowing that he had cared for even the areas that are easiest to forget. Giving attention to the inner thighs doesn't take long, but the results are lasting. It's one of those quiet, personal steps that adds up to a bigger feeling of well-being each day. It's a small effort, done in just a few moments each day, but the comfort and peace of mind it brings can last all day long. A gentle wash followed by thorough drying helps stop odor before it even has a chance to begin. Drying is especially important because any leftover moisture becomes an open invitation for bacteria and yeast to return, and with them, the very odor you worked so hard to avoid. Some seniors have found that wearing clothing made from breathable fabrics makes a noticeable difference. These fabrics allow air to circulate and help keep the inner thigh area cooler and drier throughout the day. Others find that taking a moment to change into fresh undergarments or comfortable clothing after gardening, walking, or other physical activities keeps them feeling clean and confident. However you choose to care for this area, the most important factor is consistency. Making this a simple, regular part of your daily routine ensures that you start each day feeling fresh, self-assured, and ready to participate fully in life's moments. Whether that's chatting with friends, spending time with family, or simply relaxing at home in your own space. If you're still watching and finding these tips helpful, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I truly recommend you do. And be sure to turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs, empowers, and inspires. As we come to the final part of this video, take a moment to reflect on the 6 often forgotten areas we've discussed today. These are the quiet places, the ones so easy to skip over in a daily routine, yet they can make a big difference in how fresh, clean, and confident we feel. behind the ears, the nape of the neck, the folds beneath the breasts or chest, the belly button, between the toes, and the inner thighs. Each of these spots plays a subtle but important role in our overall hygiene and well-being. And the truth is, nearly all of us have overlooked one or more at some point. That's nothing to feel ashamed about. What matters most is that now you know. And with that awareness comes the power to make small but meaningful changes that have a lasting effect on your comfort, your confidence, and the way you move through the world. When we take time to care for these often missed places, we're doing more than just preventing odor. We're showing ourselves the attention, dignity, and respect we deserve. Personal care isn't just about looking good for others, it's about feeling good for ourselves every single day. It's about something deeper, feeling whole and confident within ourselves. It's about stepping into each day with a quiet peace of mind, knowing we've done everything we can to care for ourselves in a complete, thoughtful way. And that sense of self-respect, that inner pride, it shows in subtle but powerful ways. You can see it in how someone stands, in the warmth behind their smile, in the way they move through the world with ease, welcoming neighbors, friends, and loved ones with genuine comfort. When you feel clean and at ease in your own skin, you carry yourself with a confidence that others can sense. It's not forced, it's natural. That inner assurance radiates outward, creating a ripple effect in every interaction. And what's most encouraging is this: achieving that sense of comfort and self-assurance doesn't require expensive products or complicated routines. It doesn't demand hours of effort or elaborate steps. All it takes is a few mindful moments, just a bit of care and attention to those often overlooked areas of your body. That's it. The reward? It's big. The ability to move through your day without second-guessing yourself, to enjoy your favorite activities, gardening, reading, walking, laughing with family, without the distraction of discomfort or uncertainty, to engage with others fully, without that little voice in the back of your mind wondering, "Did I miss something?" For many seniors, incorporating these small habits brings a beautiful sense of renewal. It's not just about removing odor. It's about reclaiming control. It's about reconnecting with your own well-being. Each small act of personal care becomes a quiet declaration that you matter, that your comfort, your health, and your dignity are worth protecting. These aren't just hygiene habits, they're gifts. Simple, powerful gifts that you give to yourself each day. And when you do, something special happens. Those feelings of ease and confidence begin to ripple outward. The way you speak, the way you connect with the people you love, all become infused with that renewed sense of self. When you feel good about yourself, others feel it too. That energy, that quiet confidence, it shines through. The way you care for yourself shines through in your interactions with others, helping to build stronger connections and create moments of genuine joy and comfort. These small acts of attention and care ripple outward, often in ways you don't even realize, making those around you feel more at ease, more welcomed, more connected. I encourage you to take what you've learned here and gently weave it into your daily life. You don't need to change everything at once. Just start with one small step, one simple adjustment to your routine, and let it grow naturally from there. Over time, these thoughtful habits become second nature, and the benefits they bring, greater comfort, confidence, and peace of mind, stay with you day after day. And as you begin or continue this journey of self-care, I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences. Your voice matters. By sharing even a small insight or moment of learning, you help create a community of support and encouragement for others walking a similar path. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We would truly love to hear from you, so please leave a comment below and let us know one thing you learned from this video and how you plan to apply it in your daily routine. Your reflections inspire us, and reading your comments gives us the motivation to keep going and continue creating content that supports your well-being. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support makes a real difference and helps us continue producing thoughtful, practical, and inspiring content for you and the community. wishing you good health, lasting happiness, and a peaceful heart. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you with us on this journey.